Today, I want to talk about shotgun shells and how to pick out the appropriate shotgun shell for waterfowl hunting. As you can see, there can be a lot of different options. Okay, so here's the scenario. About 2 years ago, I had a friend that wanted to go duck hunting with me, and it was his very first time, so I'm going to cut him a little slack. But anyway, he had his shotgun, he had a pair of waders that he had bought, and I helped him out with all the license and tags and all that stuff. And so when it came time to ask him about shotgun shells, he said he had it covered, and I didn't think much about it. Well, the next day, he shows up, we're getting ready, we're loading up the truck, and he throws me a box of shells, and he says, "Hey, are these okay?" And I look down, and they're 2 3/4 inch 12 gauge trap loads. They were number 7.5 lead, ounce and an eighth. And I'm like, "Dude, these are lead." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I don't know, I shot them, out on the farm." He said they seemed okay. And I said, "That's not the point." The point is that they're illegal to use. So part of this whole scenario is that he didn't know how to pick out shotgun shells. He's new to it, so a 12 gauge shell is just a 12 gauge shell. Well, I explained to him, I said, first of all, lead's illegal. So back in the late 80s, they started to phase out lead for waterfowl hunting in North America. Well, at least the United States and Canada. And I think it was 91 or 92, it was completely outlawed. There's no more lead, so we have to use non-toxic shot. 90% of the non-toxic shot we use in the United States is steel. There's some other metals out there, the tungsten-based and the bismuth and all that, but those get kind of spendy, so most of us working people, we just shoot steel. So in order to pick the correct box of shells for your hunt, you need to understand what all this mumbo-jumbo on here means. So 3 inch, that's pretty obvious. That's the length of the shell. So your velocity, okay? This is the velocity, the projected velocity as it leaves the barrel. So all that shot that's coming down the barrel, it's supposedly going to leave the barrel at 1,550 feet per second. And that's pretty average velocity now for a 3 inch shell these days, but it's only a 1 1/8 ounce load. What does that mean? Well, ounce and an eighth, that's the payload. That's the amount of shot by volume, by weight, that's in each shell. So you have 1 1/8 ounce of shot. Number 4. Okay, number 4 shot, what does that mean? Well, that's the size of the shot. So with shot, the numbers actually go opposite of what you would think. So the smaller the number, the bigger the shot. And the larger the number, the smaller it is. So number 4 shot has a caliber diameter roughly of, I think, 13 caliber. So 0.130 inches in diameter. So number 2 shot, that's bigger than number 4. It's roughly about 15 caliber. But after you get past 1, it changes to letters. Now, who the heck came up with that? So after 1, it goes to what they call B. So a single B shot. After B, it goes double B. After that, it goes triple B. And I have seen some quadruple B, so B, 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 B. I've seen that from time to time, but not very often. But if you look it up online in some of the different charts, the quadruple B is the same as T. Okay, so then there's T shot after B. I don't know why they skip so many letters, but you would think maybe it would just go to a C shot, but no. Okay, so after T, there's double T, and there's triple T. And then, oh, wait a minute, it goes to F. What the heck? It goes backwards again. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so after F, it goes to, oh wait, we go back to numbers. Oh, that's weird. So now we're into buckshot. Okay, we don't use buckshot for waterfowl, okay? The largest shot size that is legally used in the United States, I don't know about Canada, I believe is T. Don't quote me on that. It might be F, but T is generally the biggest shot size I've ever seen. So in a factory shell, you can order it online and load it yourself. But anyhow, T is usually the biggest shot that I've ever seen in a factory loaded shell. But it's important to understand that shot size. So the other thing to think about is, depending on the shot size, how many pellets are you going to have per ounce of shot that is loaded in that shell? So here's something to think about. If you have number 4 shot, you're going to have more pieces of shot in a 1 ounce volume than you would number 2, because it's smaller. So because it's smaller, there's going to be more. So you're going to have more pellets out there. So if you pull the trigger on this and send it down range at a bird, you're going to have more chances of point of impact on that bird because you're shooting smaller shot. Just to run some numbers, in 1 ounce, we're talking steel shot here, in 1 ounce of steel, there is roughly 190 number 4 pieces of shot. In a number 2, there's roughly 124 pieces of shot per ounce. And if we go clear up to BB size shot, there's only 73 pellets per ounce. Now these numbers aren't exact. This is just some stuff I pulled off the internet. But it gives you an idea. And this might vary from manufacturer to manufacturer, so it's not going to be exact science, but it gives you a pretty good idea of what you're dealing with. So how do you know what size shot to use? Well, it completely depends on what kind of birds you're going after. Generally, the bigger the bird, the bigger the shot you want to use. The smaller the bird, the smaller the shot. Generally, I shoot number 2, okay? I feel like number 2s are really good all-around shot because it's small enough where you get a high enough pellet count to create those dense patterns, but yet it's big enough that if you only get 2 or 3 pellets into a bird, it's going to do enough damage to dump them, put them on the deck so your dog can go get them. Or you can paddle out there in your kayak or wade out or whatever you're going to do. One of the things that a lot of people don't discuss is velocity. And I feel that velocity is important. So steel is ballistically different than lead because it's lighter. So if you have 2 pieces of shot that are the same size, one's lead, one is steel, the lead is actually heavier. So it's going to carry energy better. You know, if they leave the barrel at the same speed, let's say they're going 1,400 feet a second, the lead pellet is going to have more energy than the steel. It's going to shoot further and it's going to shoot harder. So that's why it's important, in my opinion, to keep your velocity up when you're shooting steel. I don't like to drop below 1,500 feet a second. If you're shooting BB or the bigger pellets, maybe down in that 1,400, 1,450 range. But I don't even really like that. Even if I'm going to shoot the bigger shot, I like to have that speed. So the other important thing about speed is the faster it is, it shortens your lead time. And that's another thing to think about. If you're constantly switching boxes of shells, you're like, well, I'm only shooting teal today, so I'm shooting some number 4, you know, ounce and an eighth, and it's 1,600 feet a second. You know, your lead time is going to be pretty short. You're pretty much out to, 30 yards. You're going to pull up on that bird, put it on its beak, pull the trigger, and crunch that bird. But in turn, if you're trying to shoot an ounce and a quarter, and it's only going 1,400 feet a second or 1,450, you're going to start missing birds if you shoot it the same way as you do that stuff that shoots 1,600 feet a second. So really pay attention to what you're picking out. I try to pick out as much consistency as I possibly can. So when you go to pick out your box of shells, you got to make your decision. Do you want to go with a heavy load that consists more pellets, that's slower, or do you want to go with a lighter payload that's faster? I'm kind of on the lighter payload, faster, faster shell. That's kind of where I stand, but it's a matter of opinion. Your gun's going to shoot differently than mine. So whenever you get a chance, get out there, put that sucker on a bench and put it on some paper, draw you a 30-inch circle and stick it out there at 40 yards and pull the trigger and see what happens. It might surprise you. The very first time I was shooting my Remington 870, I had picked out a shell, I won't name the brand, and I thought it was the best shell. And I got it down on paper, and I couldn't believe it. It looked horrible. I was like, it's a wonder I ever killed anything. And so I started working with some different shells, and I came up to pick one that patterned best, and honestly, like, I started killing more birds because my gun was just shooting better. I was shooting better. Hopefully everybody liked this video. I'm just trying to help everybody out, maybe save a little bit of money. There's a ton of brands of shotgun shells out there, and I haven't shot them all, but I've shot a lot of them, and I have my preferences. That's not really what this video was about. It was telling you which brand of shells to shoot, so I'm not going to name any brands, but anyhow, if you guys like this video, please comment below, like, subscribe. I'm kind of trying to start this channel, and I hope that my videos keep getting better. I'm not really new to this hunting thing, but like the filming and all this, I'm new to. So talking in front of the camera, sometimes I feel like an idiot. But anyhow, just let me know what you guys think, and I hope that there'll be a lot of new videos coming out, and hopefully they just keep getting better and better.